When Donald Trump gets indicted, Vivek comes out with a very, very strong, and it seemed unscripted message about how this is wrong. Whether or not you trust Vivek, he's rolling 20s. He is hitting all of his marks. He's responding authentically and properly. He's answering the questions. When people criticize him, he tackles them head on. Now he is rising in the prediction market. So I suppose we shall see at what point he hits second place. But I'm already seeing a ton of Trump supporters saying that if for some reason Trump was completely incapable of running, Vivek would be their guy.
It's definitely interesting. He sent out a couple fundraising emails this week saying, I am on track to overtake Ron DeSantis. And when he was here the other week, he was saying, like, we were hoping to reach about a 10% in the polling by the end of the year. We are much farther ahead of that. His campaign really has had a lot of inertia behind it.
What do you guys think? What do you think?
I don't. I think Vivek will take him over. I think Ron is plummeting, and I'm kind of heartened by it because I heard you guys on the show the other day saying Vivek's kind of like a right-wing Obama, and it's funny. My buddy Reed Coverdale actually said the same thing about Ron at one point, where he was kind of following a similar kind of thing. But it's almost like the people kind of saw it, because I'm of the opinion that, I mean, maybe Ron would be great when he got in, but I'm sensing neocon vibes. Yeah. So it really feels like
Vivek?
No, Ron. So I'm saying he kind of was the right-wing Obama, but now it's like, it's kind of that idea where it's like traditionally politically expedient or modern politically expedient. Now it's like Vivek could be that right-wing Obama, to where it's like, I don't know, maybe he will swap when he gets in. I don't know. Maybe he'll stay true to he is genuine. I'm unsure, but he seems pretty genuine from every time I've seen him talk. But point being is, it's just, I'm heartened by the idea that people kind of lost faith in the Ron thing. Like, to be clear, I love him as a Florida governor. I think he's great. But now when you get the reins of federal power, that's a different story. Now you're controlling foreign policy.
Vivek he's going on every show and just saying, ask me.
Yep.
And it's just raw, unfiltered, and authentic. It's masterfully done. Whether you like him or trust him or not, if he is being duplicitous and political and trying to earn votes,
he's good at it.
He's the best I've ever seen.
But that's the scariest part, right? It's the ones who are really good at it that you have to worry. That's the ones you have to worry about. Is the ones who are really, really good at hiding it until the last moment, right? And he has done a very good job about that, because I think anyone who has even base level political knowledge sees him and sees some type of comparison to Barack Obama. But I would also maybe posit that people who are now paying attention to politics, especially people who lean right, are far more informed on these issues. So if he's going to fool them, it will be a lot harder to fool them than to fool a political novice in 2008.
You can't just put up a hope poster.
You can't just put up a hope and change poster and call it a day.
Viking Vet told us he super chatted saying, pull up the predicted graph, and you can actually see Vivek has already surpassed DeSantis on one occasion. I think if let's go back 30 days, we can see that, there is a period where Vivek and DeSantis had tied. And then on the 28th, Vivek actually surpassed DeSantis by 2 cents and held that lead for, I believe, 2 days. So they tied, and now it's going back up. So he's already gotten it. I think the story of Vivek is that he was very much apolitical. He was kind of just like somewhat political. And then the story he told us was that when the BLM riots happened, people came to him and said, change your company's profile picture to the black square. And he was like, oh, sure, whatever. And he does. And they come to him and they're like, now write a letter about why what happened was bad. And he was like, yeah, sure, I guess. And then he writes like, hey, the rioting is really bad. It's unfortunate what happened. I hope this country can come together and heal. And they were like, no, you're supposed to be why we're right and support us. And he was like, okay, now you're pissing me off. Like I wrote something. Then he started getting board members from his company resigning. It seems like Vivek was this successful, what is he worth, $500 million, running a pharmaceutical company, minding his own business, probably very pleased with himself at 37. And then woke activists started attacking him. And look, it's one thing if you're like an indie game developer or a small YouTuber or a random guy who works at a steel mill and they're coming to cancel you. It's another thing if you're the guy who founded a multi-billion-dollar pharmaceutical and you're worth $500 million and they come at you and try to cancel you. And then I'm just imagining him sitting there like clenching his fist being like, I will destroy you. And now this is the story he told that like, after seeing that, he realized how dangerous this stuff was. He wrote the book, I think, Woke Capital. He started talking about ESG being a problem. He created a mutual fund? He created a fund. I'm not a finance guy, specifically to reject what's going on with ESG and all that. And then he's like, I'm going to run for president.